welcome if you are new. My name is Jessie and I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my YouTube channel every single week. For today's video, we are going to take a look back at the budget that I wrote for my husband's third paycheck in March. I sat down last week with you guys and filmed out this budget, figured out what I wanted to spend in each of my categories, and now we're going to take a look back and see what I actually spent, write in my actual numbers, and see whether I stuck to this budget or not. So I sat down and clicked the record button before I even kind of got myself set up. So first thing I'm going to do is go into my little pouch here and pull out my pens. I use the Eraseable pens from Parkoo for my budgeting. They work really well for me. I like being able to erase any mistakes that I make, and I tend to make a lot of them. So I have a black erasable pen here, and I will write in my actual numbers in black if they are within my budget. But if I go over budget, then I have to write in red. I like being able to just glance at my budget and really quickly see in each category whether I was over or under budget, and so I do a bit of a color coding system. It works out really well for me. So we'll be taking a look at each of the categories and we'll see what I budgeted, and then we will look here in my monthly planner from Erin Condren where I keep track of all my transactions, and we'll see whether see how much I actually spent and whether we were over or under budget. Just kind of getting the results, seeing how I did, and then any money that we have kind of left over at the end of this, we will be putting towards my debt snowball. So that's exciting. Let's get started. So first here under my bills category, I have groceries. And if we look at my transaction log here, you can see based on my key here that groceries are written in pink. By the way, we are taking a look at all of the transactions for this third week in March, so anything that's kind of laid down between the 16th and the 22nd, that's the transactions we're looking at. So since groceries are in pink, we can see here there's just one grocery transaction at Walmart for $149.69, so that is under budget. So I'm just going to write that in here for my actual total, and then we will move on to my Subaru payment. So my Subaru payment is considered a bill. I write all of my bills in this blue color, and we can see right here, Subaru. I made a payment to my Subaru for $386.91. Since I budgeted $390, we are under budget there as well, so still writing in black. Next up is Walmart. This is the minimum payment on my Walmart credit card. I budgeted $130, and that is exactly what I paid, $130. And lastly, I have my Lowe's credit card. This is again a minimum payment, and that I budgeted $90, and that is what I paid. So that is everything for my bills category. I'm going to grab my calculator really quickly and we will add these totals up. So I have my calculator here. We're going to add $149.69 plus $386.91 plus $130 plus $90. And so the amount that I spent on bills this week was $756.50, or 60 rather. I budgeted $760, which means that I am under budget by $3.40. It is not a whole heck of a lot, but it's something. So that $3.40 I'm going to move over here to our extra debt category, and that is going to be made as an extra debt payment. $3.40 might not seem like a lot, but every single dollar adds up. Alright, next up we're going to move to my cash envelopes. So we're going to be taking a look at my actual envelopes and seeing what I have left in them, if anything. But first we're going to start with my husband's spending. If you are familiar with my videos, you know that at the start of every week I give him his $40 that I have budgeted, and I never expect him to bring me receipts for what he spent or to give me any change. That's his money to do with whatever he pleases, so I don't know whether or not he spent it all. If he didn't, he'll just roll it over into the next week, but I know that I for sure gave him 40, so that is what we are going to write in. Next up we have my spending, and for my spending I also get $40. That gets put right into a cash envelope here in my conscious wallet. As you can see here, there is a little bit of cash left in there, and I do keep track of my transactions here in my transaction log using these purple stickers. That's my personal spending money. So you can see here I spent quite a bit this week. I bought a dummy battery for my camera here that I'm filming on. That came out of my personal spending money. It's technically a business expense, but I haven't really separated my business from my personal account. I know that's terrible, but realistically my business isn't really bringing in a ton of money, and I don't have a ton of business expenses, so it works out fine for me for now. Regardless, I spent $24 there, and then I bought a pair of bike shorts from Amazon for $15, and I decided to take that out of my personal money as well. You can see here on this orange sticker, orange indicates my sinking funds. I did buy quite a few pieces of clothing this day from my clothing sinking fund, but I didn't want to completely deplete my clothing sinking fund because there's a few clothing items that my husband needs and my sons as well, so I decided just to take part of what I spent from my clothing budget and the rest from my personal budget, which is fine. That's the way I chose to do it. You can do your budget any way you want. That's just what worked for me this week. So I spent a grand total of $39. So I came in just under budget. But since I only spent $39, that means there should be $1 left here in my envelopes. And that is what is left, so it's only $1, but it's $1 more than I would have paid to debt otherwise, so this is likely going to go towards an extra debt payment, but for now, I'm just going to set it off to the side and move on to gas. I budgeted $40 for our gas budget this week. Gas transactions are tracked in this light purple color, and as you can see, we had no gas transactions this week. I did not need to fill up, so that means that we spent nothing, and we should have $40 left here in my envelope. And indeed we do. So typically what I would do at this point is I would take this extra gas money and I would stick it here in my accordion folder in my gasoline sinking fund. But if you watched my video where I did my stimulus budget, I took money out of the stimulus to add to my gas sinking fund, and my gas sinking fund is actually full now. So I have in there a full $300, and I don't think that I need to save any more than that. I think that that's plenty in extra gas money, so I am calling this gas sinking fund fulfilled, and until I have to use anything out of this, it's just going to sit here, you know, waiting for a situation when I need more gas. If at some point I use some of that money, I will then, of course, be working to put it back and bring it back up to $300, but as it stands, I have plenty in gas money, so this is not going to go into my gas sinking fund. Instead, it's going to go towards an extra debt payment. So this I'm going to set aside with that $1 that was left from my spending envelope, and we're going to move on to eating out. So once again, we'll take a look at my transaction log. Eating out is typically indicated in this yellow color. We did not eat out this week, so that's excellent. it was our goal not to spend this eating out money that we set aside because I wanted to be able to use it for an extra debt payment. And it seems that we met that goal this week, unlike last week when we spent all of our eating out money and then some. So I spent nothing in eating out. So there ought to be $25 left here in my eating out envelope. And that's what we have left. So that's going to go into this little stack here as well. Next up is miscellaneous, and I budgeted $25 for that. Our miscellaneous transactions are in this light green color here. So you can see I spent $17 on miscellaneous this week. So we started with $25, I spent $17. That means there should be $8 left in my envelope. So we will just flip here to my miscellaneous envelope. $5, $6, $7, $8 there. So that is all of my cash envelopes emptied. I like to have my envelopes completely empty so that I am set and ready to stuff them for a new week. But there's still a couple of categories to go over here. So what did I say we spent in miscellaneous? 17? Is that right? Yes. Okay, so 17. I did give my son Robert his $20 for gas money, and I did give Austin his $20 for allowance. So now we just add up these actual amounts. 40 plus 39 plus 17 plus 20 plus 20 means we spent 136 of those $210 that we budgeted. So if we take 210 and we subtract 136, that leaves $74 left. So that is what I should have here in my little stack. So I'm just gonna kind of arrange this cash and count it up and make sure that that is what I have. 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. So this $74 then is going to go back into my wallet in my debt envelope. So this money is going to go into the bank and it's going to be used for an extra debt payment, which is exciting. I love having extra cash left over at the end of the week and being able to send just a little bit extra to our debt. So in addition to this $3.40 that we had remaining from our bills category, we are also going to move this $74 here and one more time make an extra debt payment with that. So that's awesome. So that takes care of our cash envelopes and our bills category. Now moving on to our sinking funds category. This actually can be set aside. We went over all of our transactions with the exception of the orange stickers. Those are sinking funds. This is all money that went out this week, but it was money that we had saved from previous weeks in our sinking funds. So we had a couple of household transactions, we had a pets transaction, and that clothing transaction we talked about, but none of that needs to be reconciled with this week's budget. So I can put my transaction log away. We are all done with that. And I can zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see a little better. I apologize for the lighting in this video as well. I know it's a little bit washed out. We've got a very dreary day going on here, so I've got my studio lights out. So for my sinking funds, all of this was as budgeted. You would have seen all of this cash get stuffed in my cash envelope stuffing video from last week. So if you missed that, check it out. But I did put $29 towards our anniversary. $170 went to our campground fund. $168 went to a car maintenance. $120 to Christmas and $30 to our P.O. box. All of that was as anticipated for a total of $517. For our debt snowball payment, we did make a payment of $210 to our Amazon card. That was as expected. I did that right at the start of the week, and in addition to that, I'm going to make these extra payments here as soon as I'm done filming this video. So we have the $3.40 from our bills category and our $74 from our envelopes category. Let's add this up for a grand total of how much debt we paid off this week. $287.40. So while this $210 went to our Amazon card, this extra money that we have left over from our bills and envelopes categories is actually going to go towards the latest card that we're working on, because we paid off this Amazon card last week. If you missed my debt snowball update, then you wouldn't know, but Amazon is completely paid off. We used a big portion of our stimulus check to make those payments, and I'm super excited about it. So now we are working on a Lowe's card. So this, how much? Let's see, 74 plus 340, 7740 is going to go to that Lowe's card. So I'm just going to make a little note of that actually. This went to Amazon. Alright, and then lastly we have my extra savings, which was all as budgeted, and you would have seen that in that cash envelope stuffing as well. So I did put 22 to Savopoly, I did put 50 to our 52-week savings challenge, 24 went to our card savings challenge, 4 went to our Switch savings for a grand total of $100. So that is a look at the results for this budget. It was a great week. All black ink. I did not have to pull in the dreaded red pen, which is always a stellar experience. Overall, it was really good. We had some extra money to be able to pay towards our debt and bring that Lowe's balance down a little bit more. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please take a minute and give it a big thumbs up. That really, really helps out my channel. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a video. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here every single week. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!